This is Texans TV.
Inspire Change, presented by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans.
We really believe that listening is a key to learning is a key to change, and we want to embrace change and make the world, our world, a better place.
Welcome to the Inspire Change Texans TV special here at NRG Stadium. My name is DP Sidhu. The NFL launched the Inspire Change platform to showcase the collaborative efforts of the players, owners, and the league to create positive change in communities across the country. The Players Coalition, NFL teams, and the league office continue to support programs and initiatives that reduce barriers to opportunity with a focus on three priority areas: education and economic advancement, police and community relations, and criminal justice reform. Since 2017, more than $44 million in grants has been awarded to social justice organizations as part of the NFL's Inspire Change initiative. This includes more than 750 grants awarded to current and former NFL players for nonprofits across the country. Earlier this year, in partnership with teams and owners across the NFL, the league announced a $250 million commitment over 10 years to social justice initiatives targeting systemic racism and supporting the battle against the ongoing and historic injustices faced by African Americans. Within the Texans organization, players, ownership, and staff are continuing efforts to inspire change, and we hope to show you just a glimpse into some of the great things that are being done. To kick off this show, we sat down with a few of the players to talk about what social justice means to them.
Social justice is, for me, an act of selflessness. It's an act of being a voice for the voiceless. It's an act of going out and fighting for what's just and what's right, even in the face of negativity, in the face of trials and tribulations, in the face of injustice.
Social justice is like a highway, right? There's 6 lanes on the highway, and it's impossible for one car to hold all 6 lanes, so you got to figure out what you're able to do, whether that's donate money, time, educate yourself, educate others, or just listen to the experiences of the marginalized community. I work with the Boys and Girls Club of Houston. I had an opportunity to sit in on the YMCA Teen Life. They do this tour of different cities around the country dealing with the civil rights movement. And this year we did it virtually, so I got a chance to hop on that Zoom call with them, and that was very interesting to see how they were learning about American history and the civil rights movement and things like that. So that was really dope to be a part of.
I've been active before I got to Houston through my brother and through Colin Kaepernick and his Know Your Rights camps. I've gotten to work with a couple of great organizations like 100 Suits, that's really based out of the New York area. And then also specifically in the Houston area, I've gotten to join in on the Houston Texans social justice team. We had a couple of Zoom calls, got to talk to community leaders throughout Houston and really try and fight for some legislation to be pushed through in order to confront both police brutality and systemic oppression in the criminal reform system.
We're not in the 60s where the civil rights movement, where people were just fighting for basic civil rights, but we are in a time where we haven't had the change that everybody wants to see in America. So I see us in a future where, okay, people are willing to have those uncomfortable conversations. Now let's go work together to have that real change. And I see that happening. And what might have taken, in some people's minds, another 20 years to happen, maybe it gets fast forward. Maybe it's only a couple more years. Maybe it's this year. So I encourage us to keep the same energy, the same momentum. Let's try to go have real change. And to me, I think that happens from the top down, starting with our government. So it's so important for people to get out and vote, because that's how your voices is heard. You have no room to complain about things that you want to see change if you don't get out there and exercise your right to vote. And people have, fought for it in the civil rights movement. There was a time where people couldn't get out there and vote. So now it's a time, if you want to see real change in your communities, especially on a local level, get out and vote and have your voices heard.
Hope is a driving force behind trying to make the world a better place. I'm hopeful that I can make an impact in the communities that I live in with my voice. I'm hopeful that one day America will truly be the land of free and equality. And I believe that sensation of hope is what people have to look forward to continue to go out and fight the good fight and do good works in the community. And that's really the reason why we're doing this, because we're all hopeful that we can go out and make a difference.
This off-season, the McNair family introduced a new video series titled Conversations for Change, which is aimed to continue the dialogue about racism and social injustice. Our first conversation includes 5-time Super Bowl champion and NFL trailblazer Romeo Crennel, whose coaching career in the NFL has spanned more than 30 years.
So Coach, Romeo Crennel, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Cal. Appreciate you having me.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you a little bit over all these years, and you're so widely and so highly regarded throughout the league. Can you tell us where you started and how many years, because it's quite a stretch run, and also drop a little hint about how many rings you have?
Well, I started in Lynchburg, Virginia, outside of Lynchburg, Virginia, in Amherst County, and we lived in the county. My father is the military man. He was in the Army, and we started off, he was gone. I think it was toward the, I was born in '47, so it was toward the end of World War II. And I know he mentioned that he had to take the ship to Africa, and he was talking about being seasick and all of that. So he caught the tail end of World War II. But while he was gone, we lived with my grandparents on my mother's side, and they had 9 kids, and that was my beginning. And during that beginning, being in the county, when you went to town, which was Lynchburg, you had to take the bus to go to town, and you had to ride the back of the bus. That was it, yeah. You know. Trying to go to the bathroom, if there was not a black bathroom available, you just didn't go to the bathroom. If I come home one day and my wife tells me the teacher from school called her, we're in Mississippi, and I said, well, what's the problem? She said, my daughter was holding hands with a white boy, and that was a problem, and we don't do that here. And so it wasn't the easiest time, and I feel that it has a different feel, you know, this time, because when I saw what they did to George Floyd, it hurt my heart. It really did. And then I also think that it hurt the hearts of a lot of other people that were watching. You know, why a policeman, a former policeman, who has the power, who has control, handcuffs a guy with his hands behind his back, and then sits there with his knee on his neck when he was telling him he can't breathe and his chest is hurting. And so I said to myself, what made this guy do that? And so I think that he felt an entitlement, that whatever he did, there would be no consequences for him. You know, this is just a black person. And so any human being probably would not have done that. So I don't think the guy, I think he's basically heartless. That's in my mind, that he's heartless for doing what he did. But I think he did what he did because he felt entitled. The black race has been at the bottom of the totem pole for 400 years, and that's not going to change overnight, all right? But if we get everybody doing a little bit, positive change, positive work, now then we can make that change, you know? And hopefully it will not be another 400 years of the same old, because in the black population, that's what it seems like it is. It's the same old, same old.
Coming up next on Inspired Change, find out how the Houston Texans and the Houston Police Department are building relationships in the community. Welcome back to the Inspire Change Texans TV special. The Texans have consistently been supporters of first responders and all they do to keep us safe. In 2019, with our Inspire Change objectives in mind, the Texans support was expanded to include providing resources and opportunities to encourage relational policing and support the development of community relationships.
GHPAL stands for Greater Houston Police Activities League. Our mission is very simple, and it's to reduce juvenile crime through our relational policing. And we do that by building trusting relationships with the youth, our law enforcement, and the community members.
It's a free mentorship program through the Houston Police Department in which we go out and we mentor kids, talk about athletics, academics, and life skills.
So we're just out here with the Houston Texans today, interacting with the community, just trying to get everybody involved, working as a team, community, police, and also the Texans.
Our relational policing initiatives for the purpose of PAL is we interact with the youth in a fun and a positive environment. The Texans have assisted us by allowing us to bring youth out to programs such as the Inspire Change activity days or the Play 60 events. And during these events, the kids get to interact with the players, which they love. At the same time, the officers get to get out there and interact with the kiddos. Again, it's that positive interaction that they're having, and they're building that trust. They're getting to learn that, hey, they're fun people and they want to have fun too, just like us. The players themselves, whether they realize it or not, are tremendous in leading by example.
We out here today with the kids. Say hello to the camera, y'all. Hello. Hey, we out here in the community today, inspiring change, man, teamwork, man. We out here doing some drill with the kids, having a great time in the community today, man. We got some wonderful kids doing some wonderful drills out here today. We just want to let you know, as Houston Texans, we love everyone. We love all our fans. We love our community. And giving back is what we're all about.
It's a cool feeling because I remember when I was a kid and how I used to look up to professional football players, and now I get to be on the other end of it and give back to kids in my own local community.
We greatly appreciate the monetary donations that are provided through the Texans and the foundation. We've been able to buy little trinkets, giveaway items that we can give to the kiddos. We've been able to purchase sports jerseys for them to play when we have our tournaments. So I just want to say thank you.
Next on Inspire Change, the McNair family sits down with Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner on their latest episode of Conversations for Change. Led by Janice, Cal, and Hannah McNair, the Conversations for Change series has been a key focus of the 2020 offseason. Guests have included former Texan Travis Johnson and Provision Academy founder Roynell Young. The McNair family also had a chance to sit down with Houston Mayor Sylvester Turner, who shared his thoughts on how they could collectively inspire change.
So you're here with us. We're all sitting together. We all want to make our community better. And we're going to be that pebble that ripples to the banks. What would you like for us to do with you?
Well, it is going to take all of us to make it work. I tell people, yes, I sit as the mayor of the city, and it's a great city, and we all love this city. But even as the mayor of the city, I can't effectuate the change that needed alone. Okay, can't do it. We need partners. We need partners. Just like on the community projects that have been identified in these communities. You can have a list a mile long, but until those projects start becoming reality, it's just a list. And the worst thing that you can do, and I say you, I'm putting me in this, even as a mayor, is to bring people from these disadvantaged communities together and ask them what do you need? What is it that you want? And they come and they're optimistic and you're listening to them and you work it through, you jot it down, and it goes in a book on a shelf. What I am needing and what I'm asking this city collectively, across the boards, from endowments, you name it, for people to bring alive the projects in those books. Because even as being an African American and the mayor of the fourth largest city, you're only as effective as when you have changed people's lives. And when you call them together, and when you listen to them, and you ask them to participate, and they do, and you give them that hope, unless you can effectuate that change and bring it to reality, all you've done, and all I've done, is frustrate them.
We need action.
And disappointed them. And then even a person like me will not be able to calm them down. Because all they would say is that we placed our hopes in you. And what has changed? Because they don't want the rhetoric anymore.
They'll believe it when they see it.
But you don't want those people who have come to the table, offered their ideas, offered their suggestions, and then their voices blend in with the other voices of frustration. That's when you have a forest fire. There are people and organizations in this city that will look to the McNair family. I mean, you all are a pillar of this community. No question about that. Y'all have given so much to this city on multiple levels. But this is a pivotal moment in our city. And we need to respond in a very transformational way. Where people won't listen to me, they'll listen to you all. And my simple request is help us to bring those ideas that communities in our city have taken the time to say this is what is needed in our respective communities. Help us to bring those things alive.
Coming up, find out who the Houston Texans have partnered with in your community to inspire change. Inspire Change, presented by Reliant, the official energy provider of the Houston Texans. In 2019, the Houston Texans Foundation announced the creation of a fund to advocate for social justice programs right here in the greater Houston area. 3 local nonprofit organizations, 8 Million Stories, Restoring Justice, and the YMCA of Greater Houston were selected through a grant process and will receive a total of $100,000 from the Houston Texans Foundation to support internal programs. We sat down with the leaders of these organizations to discuss how the Texans have helped them inspire change in the city of Houston.
I serve as the Executive Director of Social Responsibility with the YMCA of Greater Houston.
I'm with Restoring Justice. My name is Giovanni Arias. I'm the Executive Director.
My name is Marvin Pierre. I'm the Executive Director of 8 Million Stories. Most of our kids are referred to us either from the Juvenile Justice Probation Department or through local school districts. Our mission is to transform the lives of vulnerable youth between the ages of 14 and 18 through education, skills training, employment, and also social emotional support.
We serve the men and women in Harris County Jail that are sitting there because they have inadequate defense. A lot of what we do is preventing our clients from lacking the resources to fulfill the potential that they have in their life.
So the major issue that we're addressing really through all of our youth development programs are some gaps in opportunity. Specifically with our teen programs, we provide experiences and opportunities for them to see parts of the world and see parts of community that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. We had Texans players and Texans staff take time out of their schedules and actually go to Alabama and visited some sites in the civil rights movement there. They were able to exchange in meaningful dialogue about what they learned and how those experiences impacted them. Our teens really felt heard and seen, and it was a great exchange.
Back to school drives. We did an amazing screening of Just Mercy where we brought students and families out. We had a van donated to our program, and the organization, the Houston Texans, has really believed in a small organization that's trying to do some great work and address a huge problem.
The last 3 years, we served about 26 clients. After we were able to make the partnership with the Texans and their financial contribution, we actually doubled that amount. That financial commitment has really catapulted us to the next phase of our organization. It has really also been a catalyst of new partnerships. It's the fact that we are already a community partner with the Houston Texans that allows us to further the work and further the serving of the masses of those who are being affected by mass incarceration.
The work that we're doing around the school to prison pipeline to really gives new chances to our young people who have been written off, being able to let them know that people still do care about them and that they do have value and they do matter. 2 years ago, we never thought we would be a partner of the Houston Texans. So for me, it's actually ignited me even more to really dream even bigger and see how far we can go even just with this experience this year.
They have the tool of youth leadership, but now they have this platform with an organization like the Houston Texans where teens with the YMCA felt seen and felt heard, and most importantly, that they felt inspired to be the change for future generations.
We hope we gave you a glimpse into the Houston Texans' commitment to inspire change and their social justice initiatives. To see more ways the Texans are involved in the community and to watch the full episodes of all the McNair family's Conversations for Change, go to HoustonTexans.com. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Texans.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.